Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals and entrepreneurs publish to inform their consumers, to grow their practices, and to leave a legacy. We're doing a series of spotlights on remarkable attorneys across the country with a focus on estate planning and or elder law. Joining me on this segment is Warner Lewis. He's based out of Scottsdale, Arizona with Life Planning Inc. Warner, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mark. Good to be here.
Tell us a little bit. I understand that elder law and estate planning is quite a broad topic. Tell us a little bit about your areas of focus on that spectrum and specifically the types of folks that you help.
Sure. Well, my clients range from modest means, but circumstances that require some sound planning, up to the roughly $50 million net worth range. So we offer a wide a span of solutions that are appropriate for avoiding probate, which is everyone's foundational concern, to protecting assets for future generations, making sure that business entities like corporations and LLCs meet the administrative requirements imposed by law, and generally speaking, to take a holistic overview, comprehensive approach to each client's unique circumstances and make sure that we address all the moving parts.
I was very eager to shine more awareness on this particular topic, especially since the recent pandemics put such a spotlight on it. Do you find that people are adequately prepared and informed about getting their ducks in a row, or how do you feel people are about this subject these days?
So I think that the pandemic brought to fore people's concerns about life being a terminal condition, essentially no guarantee as to how long we'll be given to live. Not to be overly dramatic, but no one gets out alive. So proper planning is really essential. And I think we did see a rise in the volume of business that we do over the pandemic, but not a flood. I mean, I think people were, first of all, afraid to leave their homes, many of them. But now that things are easing quite a bit, the flow, I believe, is opening up, and more people are conscious of the fact that they do need to take care of their business while they still can. Because once you're incapacitated or you've passed, it's too late.
What have been the biggest concerns you've been hearing from folks these days?
Well, I think that in circumstances where there are disagreements within family, among the family members, this type of planning can help to alleviate or eliminate conflicts and tension among family members because it's in black and white. The client's wishes are clear for all to understand. We put no contest provisions in documents that say if you contest the terms of the trust or the will, you're out. So this language is designed to keep peace in the valley. Also, people are concerned that what their children inherit from them won't be wasted by substance abuse issues, divorce, creditors' claims, all kinds of other circumstances that could end up taking away this inheritance from beneficiaries if it's not properly protected.
Can you describe to us like some of the dangers of not planning for any of this stuff or kicking the can down the road or keeping your head in the sand? What are some of the dangers and obstacles and red tapes that people can face?
Certainly. Well, the basic tenet is that if you die owning property in your own name, your estate is going through probate, a costly, time-consuming process that involves lawyers and judges and courts in order to appoint someone that the court approves of to administer one's estate. And it takes 15 months on average. Probate is of indeterminate expense. There are some states like California that say it's 8% of everything. In Arizona and other states, it's whatever's reasonable and customary. So that's a very broad and ill-defined parameter for the cost of probate. So we actually charge more to go through and manage the probate process for clients who have not planned than we do to set up everything so that one can avoid probate. So probate is really the one big issue, both probate when you pass away and living probate, which is what happens to one when we become incapacitated without the right powers of attorney and other documents in place, where the court can actually appoint a stranger, give them the pen and the checkbook, and it's this living probate is one of the things that scare the graying generation the most, I think.
Yeah, to your point, I think a lot of misinformation or misconception lies around the fact that, hey, I have a will. Isn't that enough? It's going to tell everybody where I want everything to go. Can you speak to that? Because I understand that doesn't necessarily keep you out of probate.
That's correct. It does not. A will here's one definition of a will that I really like. A will is a one-way ticket to probate court. It's a lawsuit that you file against yourself using your own money for the benefit of your creditors or for the people who claim that you owe them money. Because the probating of a will is a public process. What you own and what you owe is available for everyone to see, and anyone can come to the court and file a claim saying, oh yeah, Warner promised me 10 grand 20 years ago when I helped him out of a jam, and I'm here to collect. Well, verbal agreements are as binding as written agreements, so the judge in probate court has to validate whether it's a rightful claim or not. It's just a mess. My dad's probate took 2.5 years and cost $60,000 because he left one house out of trust. So,
wow. So for folks like that want to be prepared while they're healthy, way ahead of a time, and they don't know where to start, what are the steps that you advise them to take? And, kind of tell us what that process looks like to make sure they get all their ducks in a row.
Sure. Well, first, only 3% of attorneys are competent in the area of tax and estate planning. So the first trick is to find someone who's competent, because the other 97% of attorneys have a license to practice, but they have no area. This is not an area in which they're competent. So I would check with financial advisors, accountants, friends, family to see whom they know and can recommend and refer with high confidence that, yes, this person knows what they're doing, great source of information, answered all our questions, and the documents are great. The documents reflect what we actually want to occur. So it's a buyer beware circumstance. Not every attorney knows what they're doing in this area. A few do.
Gotcha. Warner, what inspired you to focus on elder law and estate planning? How'd you get started in the field?
Well, thanks for asking. My dad died in the middle of the night at the age of 65. And, from there, pretty much everything that could go wrong did go wrong. But prior to my dad's death, he went to the hospital one day to take his mother off of life support. And he presented to the hospital his mother's living will. And the hospital looked at the document and said, this does not conform to the form factor or the content requirements for this state. So my dad went to the judge in that state, and the judge told him, if you use that will to take your mother off life support, that living will to take your mother off life support, we will try you for murder in the state. So he took her home, 3 shifts, round the clock, skilled nursing. She survived almost 3 years. And that got my attention. And then when my father passed away, from there, pretty much everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And it dawned on me that was a train wreck, the process of settling that estate. I ended up settling my father's and my grandfather's estates at the same time. Total train wreck. So that's when I devoted myself 27 years ago to helping as many people as I can avoid those problems.
Gosh, I can only imagine this is a huge area where people need to be fully informed and work with qualified guides. Warner, before I ask you my last question, is there anything I didn't think to ask you in regards to estate planning and elder law that you feel is important to share?
I just think that getting beyond our denial that we are mortal and that nobody gets out alive, that we do need to take care of this. If we don't, then we leave a mess for our family, the people we leave behind. But if we do plan properly prior to incapacity or death, it's the most loving thing we can do for our families.
This has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today. Great insights. Warner, for folks that are listening and tuned in right now that know that they could use their help, perhaps they're in Arizona and they'd like to connect with you, where could they find you and connect?
Okay, so we have clients in 34 states across the country. All of our documents are state specific, so we can assist clients wherever they may be. One can go to my website, lifeplanninginc.com, and schedule an appointment, a no cost, no obligation consultation. We have all kinds of information that we provide free of charge, without obligation, ebooks, etc. So happy to speak with anyone of your listeners who has questions. It'll be a delight.
Thank you again so much, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you to you as well, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Warner Lewis with Life Planning Inc. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals and entrepreneurs publish to inform their consumers, to grow their practices, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.